hey, if you're a US citizen and you want to protect your retirement and you haven't got our free ebook yet, then you're really missing out. So click on the link in the description and find out how you can secure your retirement and your future today.
Welcome, gentlemen. We're between Christmas and New Year, 2023, 2024.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Hello, Charlie. How you doing?
Yeah, good. It's been an incredible year, hasn't it? This year, 2023, and we're looking forward to a very exciting new year. None of us exactly know where we're going just yet. We know the destination. We just don't know the journey. The journey has completely thrown us. And as I was talking to you off air, the first thing that came to me during the night, last night, the night of the 28th, 29th of December, 2023, is that we all know now that in America that they tried to take Trump off the ballot paper in Colorado and failed. So he's back on the ballot paper in Colorado. So they've lost that case. And then more recently, they've want him taken off the ballot paper in Maine in the United States. And the reason they've given for taking him off the ballot paper in Maine is that he has already served 2 terms. According to the Constitution, you can't serve 3. So everything they've been saying about him, about being an insurrectionist on January the 6th, was to cover up the fact that Joe Biden was the insurrectionist. Mainstream media was part of the insurrectionists, all part of this scam, along with big tech and big pharma. And it's all coming out. The fact that they can go into a court and file a document claiming that he served a 2nd term, which is something for my audience that I told you back in March 2021. Yeah. I told you that he was the commander-in-chief. And I stand by that. And now it's been proven in a court of law. And we have the document. We have the court document that states very clearly that they want him taken off because he served 2 documents. Well, first of all, for the audience, I'm going to put it out to the audience. Should he serve another term? Should he not? Because he served 2 already. There's so many questions, so many answers. And you have to say, well, he's had no, what's been going on in mainstream, it's been controlled by Biden. So it's a real insurrection that we're seeing in plain sight. And the reason I mentioned this at the start of the gold and silver video is the importance of being in control of your destiny in a world that is upside down.
Yeah.
Doesn't even seem to make sense. I feel like they're just kind of clutching at straws to try and change something. But I mean, like I said to you before, Charlie, just off before we started recording, which way do they want it?
Yeah.
He either can serve, already has served 2, or that it can serve 2. It either has happened or it's going to happen. Like, which one do they want? Because both can't coexist, and they want both to be right. They want to say, well, you can't serve another because you did, but we didn't kind of acknowledge that you did before. So which way is it?
Yep. And we have to defend our honor. We'll defend our honor. And what we've learned is that between the 3 of us here, that we take total responsibility for that. And we take total responsibility by buying silver and gold, so that if everything around us goes to pot, we can still look after our wives and our families.
Which it looks like it is going to pot. It really feels like a circus, if I'm being honest.
It's a pantomime, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's the best way to explain it, I think.
I'm kind of surprised, but not surprised with the new things that are coming out. Like, they're a shock because they're shocking, but when you look at what's the other things that have come out and are going on, it's not really a surprise.
No.
It's, yeah, I think it's time to take back control. I know we've been saying it for a long time, but we're still coming across people that are still not in control. And as we've always said, if you're not in control, you're out of control. And who wants to be out of control? It doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't make you feel good.
No.
No. And there's been points in history, time and time and time again, where those who have purchased precious metals, this is history telling us this, Those that have purchased precious metals, held on to precious metals through times, I was going to say similar to this, but there's been no time similar to this. I don't think this is just very unique, isn't it? But anyway, crazy times at the minute. But families have survived, choppy times, choppy waters, haven't they? This is worse than that, isn't it? But people have survived the storms. The people that have held metals. This has been proven time and time again if people do their own research. And it's just, it's getting your hands on something that is safe and is solid, is secure, is there, that you can trust. In a world that you just can't trust and you don't know what's going on, you need something that you can trust and it's reliable.
Yeah, and for those people that are coming across for our golf competition in 2024, I'm going to be giving these away, the 2 ounces of silver coin, which is the Charlie Ward show, and also the Charlie Ward golf. And these are just small mementos, but they have a value. It's very, very important that you have something of value in a time where very little has value nowadays. Very, very little. It's amazing how many times at Christmas you give something at Christmas, and by next Christmas it's worth nothing.
Good point.
Maybe before
And
that.
Yeah. And this year I chose to give my family silver and gold as a gift for Christmas, in the knowledge that next year it'll be worth more than it is this year. And it's how many times in our lives are we given stuff that a year later that is discarded? Well, we don't discard silver and gold. We keep those in good places, and we keep them safe. And right now is very, very important that we learn to look after what we have.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
It's
Charlie,
so important.
Today we want to just go through how people can survive the emotional roller coaster of investing, and just by looking at our own journey and what we've experienced and what we've learned, and just to go through each section and look at what we were thinking at the time and what we kind of are thinking now looking back and the lessons we've learned. So do you want to give us a quick disclaimer, James, about what we're going to go through?
Basically it's not financial advice, as we've always said. It's only education. It's never been that way, has it, Adam? We've never ever given advice because we don't believe in it. We believe in empowering families to think for themselves, and this is what our whole journey has been about. So everything that we share today is just information that you can take or you can leave. It's totally up to you. But it's our journey. And today's video we thought was very important to put out there, because this journey that we've had ups and downs, and also we've had a lot gone on, Adam, hasn't he? And hopefully people, when they watch this, they'll be able to relate to it. They'll be able to look at themselves where they are right now today, and relate to where they are on that journey. But it's an important one. You'll see what we're talking about in a moment anyway, Charlie.
Okay, so let me share this with you. So look, this is the price of gold, and we're going to go through our whole journey when we got started. So this is what it's looked like. This obviously the price of gold has actually gone up a little bit more than this in the last few days, but it's a good representation. So we actually started back here. So as you can see on here, it starts 2015 and goes up to the current day, and you got the price up the side. So it's a real zoomed out look. We started, and this was the price that we started buying at, something around here. It was around just over $1,300 an ounce. Okay, and we're just going to break this down section by section and tell you what we were going through at each stage, what we know now, and what we've learned along the way, because we've learned a lot of different things. I'll just say one thing before we go through it is there's different seasons with investing. And like seasons, you have winter, you have spring, you have summer, and you know how to prepare for each one of those. You know which one's coming next. So in the winter you need to put warmer clothes on. Well, if you're in the northern hemisphere anyway, when summer comes, you can start to put you know, you don't have to have as many clothes and all this kind of thing, but you need sunscreen and those kind of things. The things with investing is there's different seasons. You can be aware of which one you're in. You just don't always know which one's coming next. They don't always follow in the same pattern. But from our journey, you'll be able to see when each season comes, what to do and how to thrive and what mentality to have through that season. So let's go through this here. So first off, we're going to look at this section here, this first bit. So when we first started buying, and to make it a bit easier to understand, we're going to zoom into just that section. So this is us zooming in. So you can see it here. It was kind of trickling down and we're zooming in, and this is the zoomed in version. So when we first started buying, I'm sure like most people, we were hitting refresh on the price like every 2 minutes, looking at, you know, have we made any money? Or, you know, we understood it was long term, but it's something new and you want to see what's happened. And as you can see over time, the price went down quite consistently. And at that time, me and James were both thinking, what have we done? Is this a bad idea? We're actually
ourselves, weren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually the metal we've bought is losing value. We know this is long term, but when's it going to turn around? And we panicked a bit. I'm being totally honest in the early stage of our journey, because this is all we've seen. We've seen it go down. And we go, okay.
There are people who do panic and sell at the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is one of the most. This is one of the important reasons. This is one of the most important reasons that why we're doing this again.
Yep.
Today, so people realise this, you know, and try and relate to it.
So that's what we were thinking. We thought, right, it's going down. Panic. When will it stop? And we were pretty worried because we'd not seen anything before. So going from here, we're then going to look at the next section, and that's this section here. Into this, so we'll zoom into this section. And what this was showing is the price actually from going down in the previous section came up back to where we started. And we thought, oof, maybe that was just a close call. Maybe that was a warning sign that we could have lost, but now it's back to where we got in. What do we do now? Do we sell? Do we just sell and go, it was a close call, and, you know, cut our losses, as it were? All these thoughts go through your head because you've not experienced this season before. But we held on. But we know some people that would have actually got out at this point. They would have said, look, it went down, it went back up. I'm happy to just get out at break even. I can't stand the emotional turmoil of it going down. That's it for me. But we held on. And for this section, as you can see, up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit. And it just ranged. And this was the real emotional roller coaster. When it's going down, you know what your emotion is. It's, oh no, this is not good. But it's a consistent emotion, let's put it that way. When it's going up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit, that's when you're going, this is great. Oh no, it's not. This is great. Oh no, it's not. Oh, this is great. Maybe it'll come back. Oh no, it's not. And you don't know whether you're coming or going. And during that time, again, there was still a level of not uncertainty, but we were just hoping for the best to come. We were like, it's gone down, now it's kind of moving around. What will come next? You don't know.
I think one thing that kept us in there, Adam, I think one thing that kept us there was just thinking, look, we might reminding ourselves it's a long-term investment. Gold has never been short-term, long-term. That's what kept us there, I think. Yeah.
There's still, I think, even knowing that, and people will really relate to this, you know it's long-term, but when you check and it's up or it's down, you still have an emotional response to the price. Even if you have no plans of selling right now and taking that gain or taking that loss, you still have an emotional response to, oh no, it's down, or oh yeah, it's up.
Yeah.
Important to notice, this is the line that we bought at, and it almost toyed with us. Back to where we were. Oh, it's better than that. Oh, actually, it's worse than that. Oh, it's back to where. Do we get out now? Is this the second close call that we say now's the time to get out? No, it goes down, and it's kind of done that a few times. So, yeah, we're very kind of up and down, but we push on. So we've seen the down, we've seen this ranging kind of market where it's going up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit. Next, we go to this section. Now, this is the bit that everybody loves.
Yeah.
And this is the bit that everyone wants and expects. And you'll probably notice here from this section here and this section here, they're a lot wider than this section.
Yeah.
So this has done a big move, but in a short space of time, again, which is what everyone wants. But you had to wait through all of this to get this. And this is what we had to do and what we've done ourselves. So let's zoom in on this section. Now, zoomed in spreads it out a little bit. Again, we've got the line that we first purchased at, and it's going up, and it's great. And do you know what we're saying at this point? We knew it would go up. We become overconfident and say we knew it, and we held on strong, and now it's paying off, and we start to feel good that it's going up. And this is, like we said, this is the bit everyone wants. Everyone wants to buy here and refresh your screen and it be up here and feel on top of the world like you made a great decision. Actually, if we go back, the great decision was here.
Yeah.
Or here. But the decision,
even better.
The great decision is buying before the move, which, look, as you can see throughout all of this section here before this up and this section here, which we're going to go into, this is the thinnest section, which tells you trying to time the market is really difficult.
Yep.
It's about time in the market rather than timing the market. Really important. Getting in and letting the market do its thing over time is way better than trying to get in just before it takes off. I mean, there's companies out there, hedge funds and investment companies, that spend billions and billions of pounds, euros, dollars every year trying to get the perfect time. So for us, you know, as just everyday people trying to beat them, it's going to be very difficult. Time in the market beats that all the time. So this is the up bit. This is the easy bit. This takes no explaining. This is you get in, it goes up, and you feel on top of the world. So from this section, we're now going to this section, and it starts to come down. So it goes up to a peak, and it starts to come down. Now, we looked at this, and it's coming down, and we thought, this looks familiar. I feel like we've seen this before. We've seen this season before. And this season here is similar to this season here. We've experienced this before, but we've also experienced a bit more in between as well. So we've got a bit more knowledge. We're not as emotional, and we've seen how things pan out over time. So when we were here and we were thinking, oh no, this was a bad decision. Now as it's going down, we're going, this is a great opportunity. Because when the price is up here, we wish we'd bought more down here. We thought this is an amazing price to buy. When we were in it and it was bouncing around, we were like, oh, this is a nightmare. You know, we don't know whether it's going to go up, going to go down. Maybe we bought too high. We should have bought lower, or did we buy at the right price? So many questions. When it's up here, this was a bargain. This was massive value. And when it came up here, we said, if it ever goes down again, we'll be buying.
Different mindset, wasn't it? We
Totally
changed our mindset
mindset.
quite a lot on the stage. Yeah.
Because we'd seen this season before. We knew in winter we wrap up and we can thrive and survive that season. But here it was the first winter and we thought, we don't know what we're doing. So going to this section, we were like, right, we know what to do. So as the price is coming down, we're actually buying. And we're taking advantage of the price because we know the long term, and we know that long term it will go up. Let's take advantage of these dips, and this is great when it's gone up, but this is where you actually make the profit, buying when it's lower. So from this section, where we've the season's kind of come back round, we're now into this section, and this is, I guess, where we are at the minute. It was at this time that we started to see a bit of a range. I'll zoom in so you can see it's up a bit, down a bit, and kind of moving around. And this is when we started switching, which brings a whole nother element. So if you're just buying metals and you're just holding them, which is great. Look, we're not saying it's not the best thing to do. If you're moving from paper money in a bank to metals to something physical, tick, you win. Like, thumbs up. And if that's all you ever do, great. It was at this time when we started switching, we thought, now we don't actually just have to wait for the price to go up, the value to go up. If the price stayed the same and we could switch and generate more metals at the same price, then we're still winning. So it adds another element into our investing. It's another tool in our belt. So looking at this here, if we zoom out to the whole journey again, we started here. We've learned our lessons through what you could call a winter or a bit of uncertainty. It's quite lucky that we had this down at the beginning. And the reason for that is, the reason I say that is, the worst thing you can do when you go to Vegas for the first time to the casino is win. It's the worst thing you can do, because you think everything you touch, everything you bet on always goes up. And it gives you a real false sense of power and security and everything that goes with it. If you are humbled very early on, like we were, and we saw that the price was going down, it builds in you a bit of resilience for what the market can do and what it can offer. So
very quickly, for anybody doing mental maths, which is what I'm doing at the moment, if you invest 1,300 when it was 1,300, if you invested £1,000 or $1,000 or 1,000 euros when it was 1,300, and it went up by 10% per year over the 8-year period that we're being shown here, you wouldn't have made 1,987. You wouldn't have made 18. You'd be getting towards it, but this is more than 10% per year compound.
Yeah, and it's the average. It's the average that you have to look at.
You look at the average over a period of time.
Absolutely. And that's, I think, because people, if they've not ventured into investing of any kind, the kind of regular financial transactions that people are used to is the same every month. You get paid from your job. Usually it's the same or very similar every month. And same with maybe certain bills that you pay. They're averaged out and they're the same every month. Investing just doesn't work like that. It doesn't dance to that tune. It does whatever it wants. And that's why you need to take a long-term view and look at the average returns. All of them may come within a shorter period of time, but I know it's a bit of a cliche, but you have got to be in it to win it. You've got to do this period here to qualify for this period here. You just exactly. I know that's not the kind of sexy message. Everyone wants to buy today, be a millionaire next week. And in our experience, it just doesn't work like that. Please do your own research. Please question what we're saying, but have a look at it. But as far as we've seen, unless you have impeccable timing and know something that everyone else in the world doesn't, or you just get lucky, it doesn't really work like that. But the good thing is, if you do get in and you do have the right mindset of that it's long term, and you can kind of sit it out and you know it comes good at the end of the day, then great, you still win. So don't be disheartened by the message. It's all about having the right mindset and just having that resilience to see through the choppy times and the down times and all those things.
Just one thing we do know is the worst thing you can do is be checking it every day, as we did. It drives you mad. It will drive you mad. You've really got to be disciplined and just buy it, and just hold it, and just check it every now and again, maybe, but not every day. And because some customers still do that, and it just drives you mad. You'll end up losing your sanity.
Yeah.
But yeah, we realised that, right, looking at the very beginning, because we stuck in there and we kept on purchasing, we carried on purchasing every single 2 weeks. It wasn't a lot back then, but
Mm.
because we did carry on purchasing, it's called the pound cost averaging effect.
Mhm.
That's one strategy we used. Because we did that, and we were buying when it was going down. So when we were buying more because the metals
Mm.
were a lot cheaper. Gold was a lot cheaper. So we were actually buying more with that money, weren't we, Adam? So when it did
Yeah.
eventually go up, we had more metals to go up in value. And that's what that's what we had, that when we had that realization, we're like, oh wow. So, and
It's
that's,
diff
yeah, this
it's a
whole
diff
journey's taught us a lot.
yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing to get your head round in the moment, to be
Mm,
buying as it's going down. You think,
yeah.
why am I increasing my exposure to something that's going down? And the
Mhm.
reason is
Mm,
because you're getting it cheaper, and the long-term picture is
yeah.
that it goes up.
Mhm.
You just have to have that long-term picture as you're buying and it's going down. That's
Mm,
the difficult bit. One thing
Yeah.
to note
yeah.
as well, as we're recording this, the price of gold is near, if not at, an all-time high.
Mhm.
Well, it is, yeah.
And
2000, just under $2,070 an ounce, I think it is. In a
yeah,
minute.
it's
I have to
shot
check, yeah.
since this screenshot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people we talk to might look at this and say, yeah, but it's at an all-time high. Why would I buy now? And on face value, you say, well, yeah, that makes sense. But let's just zoom out. So this is just our investing journey. Let's zoom out to even further. And let's have a look at how gold has gone up. And I'm sure you can see, if we zoomed in at different sections, you will be able to see different peaks. I'm sure at this peak here, people were
Yeah.
saying, this is the peak. It's the highest it's ever been. Why would I buy now? And that was at what? $700 an
600.
ounce. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
now at 2000. I'm sure at the next peak, a few years later, they said, this is the peak. Why would I buy here? And so on and so on and so on.
So many peaks.
I
Yeah,
think
so
there's
many
also,
peaks.
there's also a very interesting point here that I picked up on. Between 2013 and 2021, the price dropped dramatically.
Mm,
And this is the same period that the banks realized that they had to be Basel 3/4 compliant. So they
Mm,
had to be buying gold or assets to back their position.
hmm
This,
mm,
and when you know that, and you know the fact that they've artificially suppressed the price of gold, here is hard evidence.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it. We're never going to tell you that
Mhm.
uh, gold goes up, every month or every year exactly in a straight line, and or anything like that. That doesn't work. It doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
But with the right mindset, it's about thriving in every season.
Yeah.
And now,
mm,
if we had this, I guess when you zoom out, it's like a bigger range. It's just kind of up a bit, down a bit. Um, if after this we saw the same here, this kind of real dip down, that would really excite us. Really
Yeah.
yeah.
excite us,
Yeah.
because we would be able to buy metal at a lower price than we even bought when we first got started. So our opportunity to buy more at that price that we were hoping for when it went up here, when it did eventually go up for us, we were
Mhm.
like, our prayers have been answered. This is the time. We've been given a second
Mm,
chance
Mhm.
to buy more. And that's exactly what we would do.
Sure.
So it's about being able to navigate these different seasons, which I understand is easy to say when you've been through the seasons, but
Mhm.
please take it from our experience rather than having to go through them yourself before you kind of learn the lesson and learn how to navigate
mm,
them. Learn from our experience and look at what season we're in, and
mm,
set your mind accordingly.
Mhm.
That, I
yeah.
mean, look, as a general rule, it's good to buy on a regular basis metals, because
Yeah.
then you get
Yeah.
an average of the price. But if the price dips, as James always told me many, many years ago, if you only do the opposite of what everyone else is doing,
Mhm.
um,
Mm,
most of the time you'll do well. So when everyone is fearful, because the price is going down, that's the time to buy. And that's what the professionals are doing, and how they generate so many returns for their investors. So
Yeah,
this has been our journey, and it's been good for us to go back over and just kind of reminisce on what we were thinking. But now looking back on what we've been through, the knowledge that we've got and the experience sets us up for the future, and that's what it's all about.
Well, I talk a lot to customers about this journey, but we've never actually done it, showed them visually. So we thought this video would be really, really good. I mention this a lot when I talk to customers and say, look, it's okay for us because we've been on that journey. We've seen the results. We've seen the ups, the downs, the sideways movements, everything, you know. So we've been on that journey. So we have confidence because we've been on that journey. For you, you've just started out. You only purchased your metals maybe a year, 2 years ago. So understandably, you haven't been on that journey long enough yet. So people just need reassurance, I think, a lot, don't they, Adam? Our customers just need reassurance every now and again.
As we did at the beginning.
As we did. Yeah.
There were just, unfortunately, just wasn't anyone to reassure us apart from each other, and just to cling to that fact that it was a long-term investment. But I think when you don't have any reassurance, you're holding on, but you're not in a thrive mentality. You're just thinking, hold on and just hope for the best. Whereas if you know what to expect, you can actually take advantage of each season. And that's the key message, taking advantage of every opportunity rather than just riding that emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, so as well as doing this video so customers can relate to our journey, we're also trying to empower them with more education so they can do the same, buying the dips, buying a regular basis, you know, and also the switching's the game changer, isn't it? So like cliche, we've used lots and lots, but it is.
Yeah.
That switching is yet another strategy to be able to accumulate more metals.
Yeah.
So over time, you'll be better off, you know.
I was just about to say exactly that. So that when you see gold at an all-time high, now's your time to buy silver.
Oh, the ratio's 87 today, Charlie. 87.
Exactly.
Silver's a bargain.
An absolute bargain. And then you just wait for the movement of gold to come down and silver to go up and then switch. And then suddenly this is how you start to make real money. Now, the interesting thing is that people who understand or comprehend how it works become very wealthy. And those who don't become very poor.
And this is, I guess this is what we would say is, yes, it does take some effort and it does take some, maybe some time and some energy and input. But when you look at what you get, if you divided, you know, your, the amount that you make by the amount of time you put into it, it's not a bad hourly rate if you want to look at it that way. Like a return on your time invested, it's totally worth it. You can really multiply and have things in your control. So I hope people can learn something from that and really push forward, not be fearful for where they're seeing the price of metals, depending on where they got in, but actually hold on and actually thrive and maybe get involved in some switching and take advantage of those opportunities too.
And once you do that, you'll start to realize the value of taking control of your lives instead of leaving the control of your lives to other people. When other people do well for you, of course, you'll take your hat off. And when it goes bad, I've said many times in my life, you never know who your friends are until you lose everything. And Donald Trump said it about going bankrupt. This was the best thing about going bankrupt is you learn who your friends are. You learn who your friends are when times are difficult, not when times are good. And it's very important that you take control of your life and do not leave it up to somebody else. Yeah, well said.
Spot on, Charles.
Well, guys, great to see you. And I wish you a very happy 2024, a prosperous 2024 as we move to 2023, which has been bumpy. You too, James and Adam.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Charlie. See you soon. Cheers. Bye.
You take care, mate.